the real and raw emotions of it all. Today feels much lighter. I'm going to start by pulling a card. There's a big cycle that has recently completed within our family. And there's no hoping involved. There's no wishing. There's full intention being set that from today on, Friday the 13th, Friday, January 13th, it's going to be peace. It's going to be positive health. It's going to be growth. It's going to be ease. It's going to be abundance. It's going to be fun. Above all else, it's going to be fun. I'm feeling slightly vulnerable right now, but because it's a good vulnerability. It's after 2.5 years of so many unknowns, so many questions, pushing. Unfortunately, a lot of negative treatment, gaslighting. It was really, really challenging. Extremely challenging. It was hard enough that 7 months before this window opened for us, that's when the pandemic was announced and much of our world was shut down. However, if you were deemed an essential worker, you were still expected to work and do what you were normally doing, while probably 80% were suddenly told, no. Enter in the parent guilt. I'm grateful, very grateful that we were still working. I am grateful that, and I don't agree with how everyone was classified, whether they were essential or not. I don't think it really matters whether you were working, whether you were shut down. Every single one of us felt a negative impact on our mental health in a very big way. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, everyone felt it in some way. Let's just be real there. Everyone felt it. Yes, there were some people that very sadly had it way worse off, extremely worse. So we're riding that wave, enjoying the downtime, to be honest. At the beginning, you're suddenly, everything's canceled. Everything's canceled, so you're home. We enjoyed our home. We figured out even more what's important to us in our home and our life. And we enjoyed time with our kids. But truthfully, and it could be a mom thing because, my husband's very hands-on with our kids and always has been. But typically, there's one parent that does do a bit more for the kids. In our family, in our relationship, that was me. And so by the time October came around, October 2020, I had a lot of heaviness in my heart. A lot of heaviness. I had a lot of guilt. my kids were old enough that they could be home, but not every day, all day by themselves. That's not what's supposed to happen. It was a big shift. It was a lot of trusting. It was a lot of communication. And then I'll never forget this phone call. When I found out my husband had a very serious accident. And this is how I know I still have a lot of healing to do. This is how I know. And that's okay. Because he is okay. And I'm quite grateful for that. I still have my husband. My kids have their dad. I am so grateful for that. Because and for a short while after the accident, unfortunately, all I could focus on was the what if. What if he was 6 inches this way? He wouldn't be here with me. And as real and raw as this feels, I once again, I had to step up. I had no choice. So my heart already felt broken, confused. There was a lot going on. And now this. And the unknowns that came with it. Which one unknown was? We had no idea the road we were just about to travel. And they're still traveling. Because he will never be pain-free. He will never walk normal. We will never be able to go on hikes or like anything like that, that's fine. That's fine. You adjust your life. You adjust your life. And I'm just grateful, so grateful he is here. Because that's what matters. What we weren't prepared for, and why this continued rocking me and him, is 6 months later, he was not doing good at all. I noticed there was something wrong. I noticed his leg was on an angle, like something was wrong. So we went to the hospital. And he thought he felt something move. Now that was a couple weeks before. Why don't they tell you shit can go seriously wrong? Medical grade metal is think of the quality we've been getting these past couple of years. Past 3 years. The quality's dwindling. Yeah. Medical grade metal breaks inside of you and then causes a whole other slew of issues. Not going to get into so many details. My heart has just been rocked. We have, over the past 2.5 years, dealt with a lot of gaslighting, which truthfully has triggered me in a big way. When I was gaslighted many years ago with my own health. You're in the normal range, you're fine. What are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with you. Just lose weight, you'll be fine. 23 at infertility. At 23, dealt with infertility. I never properly dealt with all of this at all. And although today's a good day, I can feel the weight. There's weight that has been lifted. And there's weight that reminds me there's still work to do. And that's okay. That's okay. Because I know 2023 now is for me. It's for Pam's healing. It's for my daughter's healing. It's for healing as a family. For acknowledging what we've pulled together to do and be. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to ask for help. We have normalized this so much with our kids. After fighting for months. Oh, it's been longer than months. My husband finally has counseling. And it was a fight, sadly. No one should have to fight for their mental health, for help. But here's what I've learned. And here's where we're going forward. A lot of healing in my heart still, obviously. My energy work, my oils, my photography. Allowing myself to become unwound. The image I'm seeing is a ball of string. I wish I had one of those. You know, like it's almost like the twine. Yeah, not string, but it's like the twine, and where it's all like, this year, we unravel. This year is magic. Allow your truth to come out. And it doesn't mean being negative towards anyone. It doesn't mean, when I say we had to fight, it doesn't mean being a bitch. It means being very firm and factual and also compassionate. That's what it means. It means standing up for you, for your loved ones, when you know something is dreadfully wrong. It's okay and encouraged to find what is in alignment with you and let that be your truth. Let that be your truth. Because I know all too well, when we push things down and push things down and push things down, it's poison in our bodies. May long weekend 2021, my husband had a second surgery, which went sideways, and required a third surgery, and required home care for 8 weeks. And guess who that fell on? I love him. I love him so much. I love both my kids so much. Going from being a caregiver or being a wife and mother to also adding in the caregiver role, my mind was spent. But I had no choice. had to step up. I had to step up. And I know that's why at the end of 2020, 2021, 2022, it's literally, it's all one for me. I had no choice but to step up. And unfortunately, when that can happen, you begin setting yourself aside. And I was doing the work. I was actively in a year-long course in 2022. The end of the summer of 2021 is when I realized how low I was. And I trusted on something that I knew would help me, because I also knew how challenging it is in this province to get mental health supports. So I paid out of pocket a lot of money. For one thing, counseling is not covered in Ontario. Plans will cover a very small amount, much like many holistic alternative health options that are so fucking effective, and yet bottom of the fucking totem pole. Does it bother me that I have to pay out of pocket? Sure, we could. Could we just go get a pill to fix X, Y, or Z? Yeah. And then you also need a pill for the side effects of X, and then a pill for the side effects of Y, and then a pill for the side effects of Z. And it would drag me literally right back to who I was in 2014 when I made that decision to shift. When I made that decision that my life was going to change, and I didn't care what anyone thought of me. And yet I kept it secret for very, very long, because I didn't want to deal with people saying you're crazy. Plants can't fix you. And yet something deep, deep, deep inside of me, with a lot of unknowns, said, trust this. Trust this. Here's what I know. That weekend, that May long weekend, we got the phone call that surgery went sideways. He wouldn't be coming home the next day or the next day. It was almost a week he was in hospital. So that Saturday, he had the surgery Saturday morning. That Saturday afternoon, was outside with the kids, doing some stuff in the garden, and my back felt sore. I said to the kids, Mommy's gonna go lay down. And they were, how old were they back then? 2021. Oh, 2 years ago. The brain is having a hard time thinking. Yeah, they were teenagers. Anyway, early teens. I'm so grateful for them. I went and laid down and woke up. I don't even know how much longer later. I couldn't move. I was in so much pain, and I had no idea what was wrong with me, what had happened. And this was probably at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and it was me and my kids at home. thankfully, they took care of me that night. It was beyond painful to get to the bathroom, and that was the extent of where I went. Thankfully, both my husband and I had massages booked for that Monday, which was a holiday, but it was perfect. Oh. It was perfect. Because that's how I got my movement back. I was in bed for probably 24 hours. And it was in that time that I realized and reminded myself, you can do this. You can do this. And even if it means stepping way out of your comfort zone and finding your truth. That Monday night, I sent an email complaint in. Because my husband had went in, as I had mentioned, in a great deal of pain and requested an x-ray. He was told, you're overdoing it. Go home and put your feet up. A week later, we got a phone call from our family doctor asking if anyone had called us to say that not only the metal had broken, but the bone had shifted. He literally had 2 screws touching in his leg. Who knows how long? It felt like a battle within me. I knew what had happened was horribly wrong. Horribly wrong. And I also knew if you're just going to sit and complain about something, it is a complete waste of your energy. If you're going to expend the energy, move it forward. If this happened to him, it could, or potentially has already, happened to someone else. This needed to be reported. My body physically gave out on me due to the weight of this. I've since then, with each hurdle we've jumped over, can feel when it's starting to seize up. But thankfully it has never reached that point again. My point in all of this if we don't know our own truth, we will be living someone else's lie. If we can't find what truly matters to us and stand behind it, we're an empty shell of a being, going through the motions of life, everyday life. I know there's still a road ahead. I know I still have a long road for emotional healing. Our family does. We know that. We know that. It was a very scary time. But it's this reminder. The relief I felt yesterday, followed then by pain from years ago that I have not properly dealt with. And it reminded me of that. So 2023. It feels different, authentic, aligned. And when I say not giving a fuck, respectively not giving a fuck. For example, I had a phone call the other day. Larger equipment supplier. Sometimes they send, a bill from there. Sometimes they send a bill from a credit card because they take their invoice and put it on their credit card and then, anyway, paid it. And they called and said they were behind in their processes and it would take them too much time. So they would return my check and I would have to redo what I had already done to make it easier for them because they missed a step in the process. Typically, it would irritate the fuck out of me. I'd bitch and chew about it. But fine, I'll do it. You're the big corporation, blah, blah, blah. Do you know how much money and time these big corporations waste? It is disgusting. And so I said to her, when she told me that they didn't have time to make these adjustments, I said, what makes you think my time is any less worth what your time or anyone else that works there, their time? She stuttered. Because she was expecting me to say, oh, okay. Okay, big corporation. Yes, you dictate how things are going to be. And even though I did everything right, yes, you please tell me how things should be and I'll just fall into line with you. I spoke up and used my voice. I spoke up and used my voice in alignment with me. She then asked someone else if they could do that. Make the adjustment, what I exactly said. Apply a credit card or credit to the credit card for those 2 invoices. You have my check in hand and then cash the check for your invoices. That would take 3 people in 30 days to do that. Obviously, I can't and won't fix the world. But every little step I take every single day is going to shape my reality. And it's going to shape it into what I desire and no one else. These 2.5 years within the last 3 years, talk about duality. Talk about the duality of life. Truly. We will continue to grow forward. and be. I'm excited for this year. I'm into another healing container that I know I so desperately need. But it's also taking that personal responsibility as well. It's me who does the growing, me who enjoys the growth, and me who shapes this reality. So as challenging as this 2.5 years has felt, we've all needed this redirection. And for whatever reason, we needed this drastic detour. Speaking my family, for whatever reason that we needed these horribly negative experiences with our medical system, I can't call it a healthcare system anymore because it's not. It's a sick care medical system. And good luck. Truthfully, you need to find your voice if you or a loved one are within this system. You need to. Trust me on that. And like I said, not disrespectful. Be respectful and be very firm. On this Friday the 13th, let's pull a card from the Rose Oracle. And let's see. Ooh, I pulled this the other day. Lineage of the Rose, moved by the goddess, here for this. Soul call and gather. Oh, let's read this because that's a good one. Lineage of the Rose. These times, these changing, diverse times, your soul chose to be here right now for this. You're part of a collective team led by the goddess, by the mother of us, to reweave the thread of the rose back into the tapestry of humanity, to make spaces where all people feel cherished and safe, to heal and be healed from the destructive patterns of patriarchy, to be part of the return of the goddess to the earth. If you've been doubting your path, you're being called to look within and trust the whispers and weavings from caverns deep. The way of the mystic rose is walked by few and known by heart, not mind. Try not to overthink, rather trust the threads that are woven deep. This card contains within it a confirmation of the inner call and a reassurance that you're not alone in it. The mother of us all thanks you for being part of these changing times for humanity. She acknowledges your devotion to doing your best to support yourself and others in the journey back home to themselves, to each other, and to the earth. She wants you to know that she is available to guide you every step of the way. Speak, sing, and dance with her. You are led. You are led. You are led. If you'd like to journal that out, if this speaks to your soul. How are you being called to commit more deeply to humanity and to the earth? Oh, wow. If that's not alignment, I'm not sure what is. But I'm feeling it deeply. So I'm going to go and lean into me for a bit. So much love.